Hi, I can look at this 30 by 21 centimetre piece of cheap watercolour paper. I don't know who made it, it's not a particularly good one, but it was cheap online and I bought 25 sheets of it, but I think it's only really suitable for acrylic. Not to downgrade acrylic in any way. I've primed both sides with some household emulsion. The reason I do both sides is I coat one side, dry it off with the hairdryer, turn it over and coat the other side so that it evens up the bounce in the paper. So there's just a couple of little bits that are lifting there. So it's pretty good actually. Now carrying on with the theme from Saturday, the abstract I did, which seems to be doing quite well. At least it hasn't had any unlikes yet, but not everybody's cup of tea. But I like doing the abstracts when I sort of come to an impasse with the landscapes. I have been very busy with the landscapes over the years, and even I run out of ideas for a while, and trying to find new ways to say the same old stuff. But with abstract painting, I know it has been said by some that you need a narrative for everything, but I make the narrative up as I go along. Once I apply the paint, then I can get an idea of what it might represent: a sunset, sunrise, my local river, a local lavender field. Now that's a good idea. The Carshalton Lavender fields. Now, my area, Mitcham, Wallington, Carshalton, I think a lot of the industry in the 19th, 18th, 19th century was lavender. And we still have lavender fields near Oaks Park, where many of you will know of it. But it's about 2 or 3 miles from here. It's a lovely spot by Oaks Park, and you've got this wonderful lavender field. And I have done a couple of demonstrations of it, or impressions of it, and it's very well known in these parts. It's a bit of a beauty spot in pleasant suburbia. So I'll put out a bit of a alizarin if I can find it. That's vermilion. It's hiding. Oh, there it is. Because if I mix that with blue and the ultramarine and white, I get more or less a lavender. So I don't want to put a lot on. I just want to make a statement that the colour represents the lavender. So I should have done all this before cleaning the palette, but I've just done a revision to the painting over other paintings. The Cornwall scene, cloudy, and I've added a bit of light to it, so we'll publish that later on as a revision. I'll show most of the revisions because the previous one now doesn't exist, although I haven't done much to it. But for those artists among you that have sold paintings over the years, and you see what you sold 20 years ago in someone's house, you feel, oh, do they really like that? Oh, I wish I could have it back. Wish I could repaint it. But we've moved on and they haven't, and that's the difference. Right, so I'll use this old Chinese brush here. Very, very good, rough, does all sorts of lovely things. I've got loads of them. But the quality's got, if they had any quality, it's sort of gone out of them. They've reduced the number of bristles and they're quite tricky to get hold of now. Right, bit of ultra and a bit of alizarin. That's me lavender. Oops. I do listen to the radio when I'm painting, listen to talk radio. If I listen to music, I start conducting with the brush and it all goes wrong. So let's okay, that'll do. Around this lavender, we've got lots of trees, So I've got my lovely Viridian lemon yellow, cadmium yellow. So we'll put it in. Oh, that's a lot of water in the ferrule. Doesn't matter. We'll just build up a bit of texture on this. We can change it anytime we like, which we will. And we'll put in it's really just having a bit of fun with the paint, and the thing hopefully starts to take on a life of its own. And we'll put in some bit of shadow. I won't clean the brush. Somebody asked me if I ever, well, talking about watercolour and the hake, if I ever clean my brushes when I have water. But because you don't see me put my arm across in front of the camera, it's underneath the sight of the camera, you don't see me do it. And of course I clean my brushes. I'll just fill in some of that white with, get some sort of rose in between the lavender. Right, let's just, quite like that. Let's just red, cadmium red, and ultramarine. This is the shadow under the trees. No attempt at detail with this. It's just a painting. It's just enjoying what I'm doing until better times. In other words, until I have something burning to do as a watercolour or acrylic demonstration, more representational. Got to do some sky now. So I would reckon that we could have a sort of we could add sunrise. Yeah, I've got yellow all over my nice clean rag here. Yuck. Right, sky. Okay, red, orange, go for it. Pull off the hairs. Let's get some dark over the top, I think. Right, I'll just put in this, strengthen that up a bit. Let's add a bit of white to it. Right, get the dark back in. Right, as that dries we can thicken up the colours. Let's go back to the lavender. Get a nice bit of alizarin, a bit of ultra. Right, using loads of brushes on this. One has gone AWOL. I have to find it. Right, just thicken this up here. When I do these things, I always sort of got a Howard Hodgkin in my mind. Change the brush strokes. Oh, I can see it. The other one. I've got 3 of these inch Pro Arts brushes. They're all different. The bristles do vary. But I want to carry those colours through a bit. Don't know why I'm doing that. It's not a reflection, it's just a vibration of colour, reds and greens. All that theme of the sort of purple going through. I hope I've got a mount that would suit this, just so we can see what it looks like. I mean, to some people it's just going to be a load of rubbish, but it's applying paint, and I didn't think of the lavender field until I looked at the blank piece of paper. I made it up as I went along. It's just looking a little bit bristly, bitty, and I think that's because we're not using enough paint. So let's just go over this again. And just go back with that lavender. Just thickening it all up. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence by doing this. It's paints, and hopefully abstracted. So the theme is a visit to the lavender field. I haven't been there for a couple of years. I took some photographs there with permission, with a view to painting them. And they were sort of abstract. Let's just put in a bit of landscape back, a bit of greenery. And then bit of the morning or evening showing through. Right, let's have a look, see if I've got a mount, see what it looks like. yeah, I've got sort of. It's going to pick up a lot of the paint, but never mind. Right, I think that is just a bit too green. I like that. I flicked my